Wow. Good morning, everyone. It's April 10th already. This is SchreckTeck episode number 54.
54.
And next to me, that pretty blonde lady over here to my left.
Oh!
The other way. Hey, Gina, how are you today?
I'm doing great. We are still in the midst of a little construction here, so, if you pardon the dust, I guess I should say. And, it's been a great week here in Colorado. Beautiful weather. Lots of wonderful, opportunities to get outside, and happy late Easter.
That's true. Hope everybody had a good time.
Hopefully everyone had a great Easter weekend and got some rest. I actually kind of unplugged for the most part for the weekend, but only snuck online a little bit. But it was very nice. So
now we've got a video to start out with.
And yes, I'm very excited because we have a fun guest here, and we won't tell you much more. First, we'll show you his video.
Here we go.
So then I get up there and, I greet them, the geek. And I get up there to pay for my coffee, and I just figured, I want to pay for those guys. There's two guys over there getting coffee. I want to pay for them. When they get up here, make it free. And don't tell them who did it. Just tell them somebody about their coffee. And have a good day. And I'm wondering if they speak Spanish. Or if they, I didn't know if they spoke English because they were clearly, they're speaking Spanish. Anyway, so I taught her how to say thank you and going to have a good day. And in case they didn't know, and I felt great about it. And the cashier had a big grin on her face because I think she felt like, and I walked out of the door yelling to myself, that was fun. And when I turned back, the cashier still had a big grin on her face. So sometime after I left, those guys walked up and got a free cup of coffee. And guess what? It made me feel good. Hopefully it made their day good. But mostly it made me feel good. So, what am I saying? I'm saying take responsibility for making your day good. Find stuff to do, physically do to make your day good. And, if you're not saying what good idea, find some stranger to come along. Alright, Brad Montgomery, BradMontgomery.com. If you're looking for a speaker, a motivational speaker, a presenter to present a speech or keynote or seminar for you or your organization, I'd love to be a lot part of this. How to bring that into the workplace. I'd love to be your guy. Even by you. Have a great day.
And Gina, we've got that anonymous motivational speaker with us today.
I know we do. Oh, let me mute that again. I was trying to listen to the video, but for some reason I couldn't get sound. I would love to welcome, because Brad is a longtime friend and fellow Coloradan. Welcome, Brad Montgomery, funny man.
Hello there.
That raucous audience.
It's crazy.
How you doing, Brad?
Having a great morning. Good morning.
Good morning. And Brad, I know your history and your story. I know what you did last summer. But just for those who don't, I don't know how there are people who don't know you, but for those who don't know you, because we're going to talk about video today, but I want to kind of give a little background of how you became this world-renowned international speaker who goes out and, I always call you Funny Man, Brad, but you really do help a lot of organizations with change and dealing with change, using humor. How did you first transition into that?
Oh, it's such a long story. Come on, how much time do we have? Well, I was born in a log cabin. Or something, I can't remember. Let's skip ahead. Basically, I started out, Gina, doing magic and comedy. So I did comedy clubs, and I did, I literally did birthday parties for 12-year-olds or, whatever, little kids. And I ended up doing cruise ships and colleges as an entertainer. And then started getting booked by the same people who booked speakers. And that's how I met speakers, because at first, before that, I thought speakers were all idiots. But I thought they were all Tony Robbins. Like, you can walk on fire, and it just was not appealing. But then I started being exposed to speakers that I loved and appealed to me, and who were real people, as opposed to these superstars. And then, so the transition was born then, and it's been, gosh, that's been 20 years ago. So it's been a slow transition. And now what I mostly do is speak about happiness and how happiness helps us generally, but specifically how happiness helps us at work. But I do it in a funny way, because that's my way. That's my style. That's how I roll.
That's how you roll. And so here you are talking about happiness and how to get people really feeling good about where they're working and what they're doing and bringing their purpose out in their work. And then you have really been ahead of your time, Brad, because you and I have talked technology for a long time. And you have been using video for quite a while to market yourself, to get the word out about what you do. Is it something that you chose video because it was an easier way than just, your website was always one of my favorites to go to because you have so much just goodness on there. What made you, what made you start using video or, kind of seeing that trend before everyone else?
Well, part of it, honestly, I'd love to tell you it was this great bit of wisdom, Gina, but in fact, I'm kind of a geek. That's why I like to get geeky.
Exactly.
What I'm trying to say is I like it. It wasn't a lot of pain for me. It was interesting to me. So, like, exploring YouTube and figuring out how to upload a video wasn't a homework assignment to me. I was like, oh, cool, let's try that. So, again, I'd love to tell you there's wisdom and a plan and all this crap, and no. Generally speaking, I can tell you that I think it has paid for me to be not on the bleeding edge of technology, but at least on the front edge of technology. Right. I don't want to be the first adopter, but I don't mind being like the 8th.
So, you're just kind of sitting close to the edge, but not on the edge.
Yeah, I let people like Gina Schreck discover everything, and then I follow. Exactly. But it's important, I think, to be pretty
That's
tight. You need to be close.
Yeah, that's wise. Well, and one thing, Brad, that I like about your videos, and I think one thing that you've talked about before is, most people when they think of doing videos, they think of high production value. They think they have to spend a lot of money or have a lot of expensive equipment like Rick has. But you really have you've really gone counterculture when it comes to kind of that whole perfection model. Can you tell us about that?
Well, one, I'm just too cheap to buy the good stuff.
See, that's always been my thing.
Well, I think, my job is a motivational speaker, and I use comedy. So before people hire me, they want to see if I've got the goods. So that's a long way of saying I've got to have those slick, professionally produced and edited videos, and I have them. So this is not an instead of those types of videos for me and my business model. For me, it's in addition to, because I think for me it's very important to show people that I'm a real person, and those slick videos are crucial and serve an important purpose for our business, but they don't always show us what we're really like. Like what would it be like to have a cup of coffee with Brad? A lot of my clients want to know that. They want to have that feeling. And so when you simplify it, when you just take a shaky iPhone camera, or you just have your wife hold the video camera in your front yard, I really think that gives us a chance to present a different side of ourselves to our potential buyers, and I think it's really helpful because our buyers are too hip. They know what Slick is and Edit it is, and they know what home video looks like. So giving them some home video really pays.
You know, it's interesting because you said it right at the beginning. A lot of the motivational speakers are just very, it's almost stiff. They're so practiced that there's nothing natural anymore. And I think it loses a lot because you can't get them out of that routine. I met one years ago who, anytime he spoke, it was actually something out of a speech he did years ago. It was really odd because it was completely and totally stiff.
Are you sure that wasn't me? I think that was me.
No, it wasn't you.
Well, I know those speakers that when you're talking to them in person, they're doing bits of prepared material as part of their conversation.
Yeah, that's exactly what this guy did. It was really sort of funny.
Although my kids do tell me when I start, for some reason I go into this mode, my daughter will say, "Here goes Mom," in her teacher mode. Or, "Here comes the motivational speech." I'll be talking to my family and I'll go into, not that I pull out lines, but I go into a different mode of speaking, and it's very, I think I'm actually on a stage performing to them. So maybe that's just a problem that...
Well, you guys have one thing both in common, that you both use humor. I've seen some of your things, Gina, and you're pretty funny.
At times.
And Brad, I've got to let you know, this is the second time in 50-something shows I've done this. I bought one of your books, the last one you did, on Sunday, not knowing you were coming on today. I think that's twice that's happened.
Isn't that weird?
Are you
That's weird.
kidding me?
That is just bizarre. I'm not kidding you. That's twice as happened. When she said, "Brad's on tomorrow," I go, "Brad, why does that name sound familiar?" I just got his book.
Humor me.
I love when that happens.
I'm going to go buy some beer and think of you.
Yeah, really.
That's right. But Brad, when you talk about doing videos, kind of to promote not the produced videos, but stuff that you just do yourself. Yeah, I've heard you give just great advice to people, because I think too many times we worry too much, or we think we have to have things just right. I mean, and now Rick does tell me my lighting is still too harsh, and I look like my skin is not a natural color. But I keep telling him that I think that's how I really look. But what are
It's your webcam.
I think either it's my webcam or it's the way I have the lights right in front of me.
Yeah.
If I sit back, maybe it helps. But Brad, you and I were helping a friend of ours who had a video that she was very excited about, Sarah, and she had put this video up. But you gave her some really great tips that I thought, gosh, we forget. Sometimes just the really simple things. When you're setting up your video area, do you tend to have, like I have my Getting Geeky wall back here as kind of my backdrop. Do you have a specific place you do videos so that you're already set up?
No, and that's a good question, because my theory has changed on this. I used to. When I first started doing this, I set up a wall. I mean, I cleaned off a bookshelf, and I set the camera up in front of the bookshelf, and you can picture what I put on it, like stuff that I thought I should have on there. I don't even know. But it looked nice, right? And I just decided, for two reasons, I should just screw that, because one of the reasons was it slowed me down. In order to do that, I needed to use a camera and then transfer the cartridge from the camera to the computer and edit it. So that was just one too many steps that prevented me from putting out as much video as I wanted. But what really changed more than that was a purposeful decision that imperfection was sometimes more perfect for my purposes. Because again, I'm always able to say in every single video, or in YouTube, you can put even a little link. If you want to see what I really do, what I look on stage, like with the actual tie and organized sentences, click on a video. That's what it would look like if you hire me. But right now, we're talking about different things around the actual performance that you might buy. So that imperfection is important. So no, I mean, I got a home office. This is my life. If I were to set it up right, I wouldn't have a window behind me. There's some, this is not a perfect setup. But I think that's fine. And then tying into that, I'm going to give you the advice that really got me going on this. Jim Jacobus, a fellow speaker, was talking to me about this, and he does videos for his clients. So when they're deciding whether or not to hire him, they've got all of the press materials, they've had a conversation with him, they've certainly seen him on video, they've looked over his very professional looking website, yada yada, blah blah, etc. But in the end, what he does is he's this huge guy. He puts his laptop on the desk, which means he's kind of looking down he's kind of looking down at it, and he's got a baseball cap on more times than not. If he hasn't shaven that day, it's no big deal. If he's got a sweatshirt on that day, it's no big deal. And he just looks to the camera and says, well, all right, well, here's what we're talking about. One of your objections was this. Here's how we're going to cover that. Here's one of my ideas about this. I really think we ought to talk about that. And the effect is insanely cool because we, that's the viewers, get a feeling that, Rick's got it all. This is how he really is. And I can see what he's going to do for my audience when I hire him. This guy's a normal guy. I can get along with him. I connect with him. He's authentic. Kapow. So that was a big learning point for me. So purposely saying, okay, this looks like a home video. This looks like I didn't set up anything. It looks like, it looks like I turned on the webcam.
Which is funny because I've noticed a lot of male bloggers, speakers, social media folks, they do that. I said male. The men will be in T-shirts. Some of them hideously old-looking. Baseball caps, no shaving, like you said. Women can't get away with that. I don't think. I cannot imagine. Now, I have gone more casual, where I put on a T-shirt. But if I didn't shave and my beard, I mean, come on. That would just make for a hideous video. Now, I'm thinking, okay, could I get away with putting on a baseball cap and my hair in a ponytail? Or, yeah, maybe. But don't you think there's this double, and I know it's like not on topic, but I guess what you're saying is go more casual to almost feel like you're having coffee with a friend.
Yeah. So
you just rolled out of bed and didn't shave.
I would never disagree with anything you said, Gina, because you are brilliant. You know that, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you.
Well, that's good, because I know where you live.
Well,
you'll have to leave the country again.
Let me give you an example of a woman who does not do this. So she is running a business. It's a multi-tiered marketing thing relating to exercise supplements, and it's weight loss and exercise.
Right.
Well, her videos are unbelievably authentic because she literally will come from the working out at home to the webcam with bad lighting, no makeup, and she's sweaty, and she's sometimes out of breath, and she's just saying, all right, this is the 4th day. It was really hard to do this because I just didn't want to. I'd rather be eating a bagel. And so she doesn't dress up. She's not perfect. She's, in fact, quite imperfect, and it makes her really authentic.
Yeah,
and
likable.
I love her for that.
Yeah. And I do agree. I think that more casual feel makes you more likable because you do feel like you're just sitting and chatting with someone. And again, I do think that going casual, I think men can get away with. Now, fitness, that's still different. But I think if I came sweaty to the camera, yeah, somehow I couldn't get away with that. But I totally agree that I think
either that or ratings would go up. You never know.
Yeah, either that. And as long as it's not smell-o-vision, we're okay. But I do think putting on a suit. I see some people that never do a video unless they're in a suit. That does seem more unapproachable. So I do like that. Now that's one tip though, Brad, that you mentioned that I always tell people: do not set your camera down on your desk because number one, you look like you. Now again, maybe it's my vanity, but it makes you have a double chin and people can see up your nose. So I always say set your laptop up on a box so you're looking straight ahead. But maybe I'm too. It's that whole vein thing.
Well, I don't think you're wrong, Gina, and clearly you've built this really cool brand and empire based on what you do, so go for it. But having said that, Gina, if you were ever to say to Rick and I, boy, I just don't look that good, I haven't done my hair right, my makeup's wrong, we would totally, I just guarantee we would say, no, you look great. So my suspicion is that you are like some of my other people I've helped with this, in that your standards for what your minimum good-looking self has to be is much higher than what Rick and I would say is like, no, you look great, get a camera now. And the reason I think that's significant is, one, you connect with your audience, the more you look like them and act like them. And, you're gorgeous, on your worst day, Gina, you're going to be great. But then also I think we, meaning all of us, but specifically women, who worry more about their hair I wish I had something to worry about, but who worry about hair and makeup and have more things to think about, use that as an excuse for, well, I can't do a video because I don't have the 5 minutes to 1 hour to get ready.
Well, you know, Brad, that was why I loved Second Life. I didn't have to do my hair. My avatar always looked great. Yeah, and I think women are more critical. Dawn, that's a really good point. Dawn in the chat room saying women are more critical of other women, which is so weird. And we're going, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's wearing that. But I think women are more critical of appearance in general, because when I see a guy in no shaving, I'm always wondering, I wonder if that's the branding thing he's trying to do, or is it, is that really, I don't know. I kind of always have wondered that, going the whole unshaven thing with a baseball cap. I find that really fascinating. That's kind of I see a lot of that, especially bloggers, and I just wonder, is that more approachable? Do people connect more? And I guess it's probably true. So really what you're saying though is be casual, have fun with it. You don't have to be perfect in your videos to connect with people. But you also kind of going more technical.
It's one step further. I think by lowering our standards, it's not only permissible, it's advisable.
Oh, interesting. Lowering our standards of what we think we have to do a video.
Yeah, so I think it is important. For example, I'm looking at you on webcam. You're in a perfect location, but one of the things I like about you is sometimes you will be in somewhere else with a shaky iPhone or the shaky camera. Having both is an advantage. So I think for us on this TV show, we need to see you as we see you now. But I'd love to see you out with your kids at the grocery store and just saying, because I know you're never ugly. You never look bad. So seeing you at the grocery store would be really cool.
That's a great idea, though. Is more man on the street kind of concepts too, of just, and I guess the lesson is remove the barriers. What's stopping you from doing video? If it's doing your hair, then remove that barrier. Shave your head. If your barrier is I don't have the right setup, get outside or go to the grocery store or do man on the street. Some people just they don't feel comfortable in front of the camera, and then I always recommend then interview someone because it's not just you, and that's another fun way.
Now, Brad, do you like my like nouveau cave look?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Spent a lot of time actually just putting that up.
And all the personalization.
It's very personal.
He customized it all night to get that look. But yeah, I agree.
It's called moving
I think that
carpet.
is one of the things. Removing the barriers and just doing more video. I mean, we preach this all the time, is we've got to do more video. People love, not only do they love watching video, but they feel they build a relationship with you. They get to know you in any industry. I mean, I saw a great video of a heating and air conditioning guy who pulled out it was the filter, and he pulls it out and he's doing a video. So he's got his webcam in somebody's basement and he's showing this disgustingly dirty air filter. But I just thought, what a great concept. And he said, today's tip is go check your air filter and see what it looks like. And I thought, that's brilliant marketing, because you're taking us with you. And again, he didn't have any fancy equipment. It wasn't the perfect lighting, but it was a great video.
Well, also the second largest search engine on earth is YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, it's just huge.
That's something.
It is. And that's one thing, Brad, that I was, talking to you and when we were trying to help Sarah, is the whole concept of, most people know, okay, title your video so it doesn't just say iMovie number 7. Put a title on there that's something that people can search for. But is there anything that you do with your videos, or are you pretty casual even with that technical side?
I'm pretty casual with the technical side, but I do have some insight that came from a failure.
Oh, what's that? We love those.
And isn't that always good when we can talk about how we're idiots and what we can learn?
Exactly.
All right, so I went and spoke for a client in Vegas at the Excalibur Hotel, and it turned out the client was a hotel chain. So get that, a hotel chain used Excalibur to meet. That's ironic. But so I did a video. It was me walking around Excalibur, and then also some testimonial footage of the client saying, Brad was fabulous, you should book him. And I put that on a video, and I put it on a blog. So the video was embedded on a blog, and the blog was all about how the Excalibur Hotel was not crappy, but neither was it great. And that was completely consistent with the message I delivered to my client. So, Excalibur's fine, but it's really not good or bad. And in fact, that's just really insufficient in this economy.
Right.
So that was what the video was about, and then I wrote a long blog. Now I titled the video on YouTube, Funny Customer Service Speaker, Why Fine Sucks. All right, so, God, killer, for me, it got a lot of views. It's like 20,000 views, and for me, that's a lot of views. For me, that's like crazy views. And yet the video sucks because, remember, it's just me walking around the hotel, talking about the hotel, some testimonial footage. I never once, for example, say, why fine sucks. What do I mean? Because all of that is in the blog. And in the video it says, go to the blog at this URL to read about why fine sucks, which was a complete error. So what did we learn? We learned that title rocks. So I think the word funny is a good idea. Funny customer service speaker. But then I think also that phrase, why fine sucks, because no one knows what that means, kills. And so, ironically, poorly executed video, because I didn't put what the title was in the video. It's in the blog. I thought the video was an accompaniment to the blog. To have done it, if I was doing it right now, I'd make sure the video is standalone, and in addition, write the blog. But killer title, eh? Why fine sucks? Yeah, click there.
That's a great title. And you're right. It is a matter of thinking through a project, even when it's a casual project, thinking through, number one, what is it about? What's the theme? What do I want to make sure I say in here? Kind of like storyboarding the video, even when it's a casual project. But then putting that title so that it is something searchable. Then I always say, most people, again, will think, oh, I should write something in the description of the video, which I always say, make sure you have a link back to your website in there as well. But then we can do something else. And I think, Rick, we've talked about this, the whole transcription of a video. But if you, again, do a little planning and make sure that you're talking about you're answering the key questions that people will Google. So if people are Googling, I don't know, how do I make my website more findable? Then in my video, I want to say things like many people ask, how do I make my website more findable? Well, here's some tips. And I say that because if we transcribe it, and if you don't transcribe your own videos, Google will transcribe it automatically for the closed caption piece. And usually it's so far off that it's hilarious to read. But then when you transcribe a video, it's even more searchable and has good SEO juice for you to be found. But a little more advanced and technical. It's not hard at all. You just transcribe the video. But I think part of it is, like you're saying, Brad, you can really have a great video, or you can have a great concept, and if you don't do some planning, you miss some big opportunities.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like, I think before you start the video, you ought to know what the video is for. Yeah. and I've made so many bad videos, I'm getting better at understanding, okay, well, that was a bad one, this was a bad one.
I've done so many where I go to edit them, and I say, wow, what is the purpose of this video? Or I started out and then kind of gone off on a tangent, and I scrapped the whole project. So, yeah, I think the whole planning, what is the point of this video? Who will be searching for this video? And are there specific phrases that I should say in here so that will be found later or passed around? Short is always the sweetest. People love short videos. So if you can keep them short, but then try and get concise and all of those, there's so much. I just think in YouTube video, if we really want to use them for marketing our business, now, there's a lot we can do. You actually send yours out. Do you do it in a newsletter, or is it just on your blog?
Again, our speaker. The answer is it depends on what the video is for, just like you were just saying. You have to know what it's for. So sometimes I'll make a video and say, this is for my email list. And sometimes I'll make a video and say, I'd like this to support some keyword I'm going after. And some of them are just me on a conversation with a prospective client.
Interesting.
And, so that's all those things are going to affect how I push them out and what I'm wearing and how formal it's going to be, and how I market it. Because some of them, honestly, I just put them on YouTube because it's just for one client and one audience. And I don't care if the rest of the world sees it, but it's just for one, I got an idea with it.
So do you keep all of yours public? You don't have them unlisted or private?
I have a couple unlisted, but so like for example, let's say a client hires me and they say, Brad, could you come back now that you're gone? Could we send you a video of you speaking to our audience to reaffirm and kind of reiterate the message that you did live? Yes, I'd be happy to do that, and I don't mind at all if that's public, because I figure anybody else who is shopping me sees, oh my gosh, he's talking to this tile company. Wouldn't it be cool if we did it to our people? Or what? Then they have something to ask me about when we're finally on the phone.
Yeah, I love it, and I love how irreverent you are. And I know you always get ahead of time. You ask, can I poke fun at the CEO, or can I poke fun at, who's fair game? But watching some of your videos, you definitely get the audience laughing hysterically because you're saying the things that they wish they could say. Which is always good.
You're just afraid to ask the CEO if they can bust his chops.
Yeah. I'm always, some of your videos I'm like, whoa, that is hilarious that you could say that.
But you have to be careful with these types of videos, these kinds of conversation with your audience videos, when you're busting anybody's chops, because what we do on stage has context.
Yeah.
And if we take a segment of that and put it on an edited video, it still has context, even though the audience, the viewer, doesn't understand the context. At least they're thinking, I wonder what the heck he's talking about.
Right.
But if on a video like this, if I started making fun of a past client or calling somebody by name, there'd be no context, and so it'd be, I'd never do that.
Yeah. No, that's brilliant. Let me see. People are asking in the chat room, do you guys do videos for your work? Okay, asking in general, do most people do videos for their work? Yeah, it's interesting. When you work within a company, I think most people don't think that it fits to do video, but I disagree. I think it would be great to take your video camera and go and do a series of 10 things I wish I would have known when I started here that I know now. And go around and interview some of the top managers or people who have been there the longest, and put together a series of 60 seconds of what you know now that you wish you would have known, and have that as part of your new hire library. I think that's a great video idea. And again, using these same tips, don't worry that they have to be perfect. So, and you can keep them private if you want to load them to a YouTube channel, and only people within the organization can see them. So I think looking at, I always say, take your frequently asked questions from your websites or from your departments within a company and create video answers to those is another easy kind of topic for video. Yeah, English is a second language. English second language associates. Great to show them tasks versus telling them. Legal department prevents this. Wow. Some departments, maybe they just need to go to Brad. They need to hire Brad to come in and get him to just lighten up. I think that's legal department. Brad, you've got an assignment. Yeah, and that's interesting. Well, I know we're almost out of time, but I wanted to shift real quick because, Brad, do you still have your app in the App Store?
No. I did the iPhone app, and it was a huge learning experience and an utter failure, all wrapped up into one messy ball.
We had one of those. We had one of those too. We spent a lot of time, and I think we made $11 on it. It was fun.
Actually, you know what, Brad? You would love Rick's app because it was kind of like a Magic 8-Ball, and it was,
If I have
Rick's booming voice, and you asked a question, and it gave a answer.
I love that idea.
It was pretty funny. So, is it still available, or did you pull it?
I pulled it because honestly, well, the truth is you have to renew your license to keep it, or some paperwork to keep your apps on the App Store every year, and I didn't.
I didn't know that.
So I missed it and would have had to redo it, and in the end looked at it and said, this is completely not worth my time.
Yeah,
which was hard to admit, and I had to eat some humble pie.
Okay, Brad, just to prove concept, ask something about your future.
Oh. Will I be eating any roadkill this week?
All right. Helps if I don't mute my phone.
Take the
Okay,
third one.
here we go.
I recommend no action.
Ah.
Excellent.
It's
Okay, I'm gonna leave that rotten
real
bunny.
complex, technically complex app, and available. But I think, like you both have said, you learn so much by going through that process of an app development.
And it's a pain of a process.
Yeah.
Apple doesn't make it easy.
Well, my guess, Rick, let me read your mind. Hold on. Let me get my phone out to read your mind. No, I don't need a phone. My guess is that, like me, you had a really good idea that if you could have gotten that app out the instant you thought of it, it would have had a much better chance than adding the delay time between good idea and getting it available for
Yeah, it
purchase.
did take a while to write it, even though it wasn't that hard. It's not the easiest language to learn.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
it was fun.
Yeah, but Gina, to bring things full circle, you asked me, where should we be in technology? I think we should be on the front edge of technology. So I thought it was a great idea to try that. And looking back on it, of course, I would have loved it if I could say, yes, I invented Angry Birds.
I
But
made $1 million.
yeah, but I am proud of myself for saying, let's keep trying new things. Many of them will fail, but that means we should need to keep looking because you never know what's going to hit.
What was your app called?
I laugh out loud. It was basically an I fart or the farting thing.
Yeah.
It makes a fart noise. Only this was different laughter sounds, on command, with a delay, with a timer, a whole bunch of ideas with laughter sounds. But a very simple app. A cool idea, but just a little bit too late.
I think I actually had it.
And I think that, like you said, by the time you get it developed, there's 5 of them out there.
Well, actually, there were
also,
at one point there were 100,000 fart apps, and Apple said no more fart apps.
Well, I think my
there
problem
is a
was
point.
as I see many.
That's enough gas.
I've got things on my phone right now. I've got Evernote on my phone for free.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, my dollar app wasn't. Evernote is thousands of times better than my $1 app.
But you know what? Evernote doesn't make you laugh.
Yes, that's true.
Exactly. And I do have to say, I found a cool app, maybe a month or so ago, and it's if you're doing videos and you want to insert some cool pictures in the video, kind of a transition, or even video clips. They're all royalty-free, license-free. It's called Video Clips, and when you open it, you can scroll through different video clips, and they're just more like, I would say transition, but you might use them as opening pieces to your video. So if you want kind of a slightly, see, this goes against what you're saying, Brad. This is a slightly more produced look because there's some really cool visuals, but I think it would be cool to have your company name or your name on a nice opening slide instead of just a PowerPoint slide. These are really cool. So Video Clips is a free app. Once again, it's free. So yeah, you wonder how but there are ads when you open it that you're seeing. So they're making money from that model. But yeah, I think, Brad, you're right. Stay on the cutting edge. Don't be afraid of technology. Don't be afraid to try some new things with video. I think, we can't go wrong. We just get out there and keep learning and making better products each time.
Well, back to video, I think the main thing to remember for video, you and I both have been experimenting so long, clearly, I think we can say this, your videos now are better than they were when you first started. Mine are better now than when we first started. So you can't get better until you start.
Until you start. So get out there and start. Brad's website, bradmontgomery.com. Is there another website, Brad?
No, go to bradmontgomery.com and everything else links from there.
It's the front website. I'm putting it on the page right here. bradmontgomery.com. Follow him on Twitter at Brad Montgomery.
Woohoo!
Everything he has. And, you can get his books right on his website. Brad, thank you so much. You're always fun. And if you can't see something nice, hire Brad. He'll at least make it fun.
Brad, you have a good one. Thanks so much for being on.
Absolute pleasure. If anybody has any questions, you're totally welcome to follow up with me directly through the website, and I'd be happy to answer your questions.
And for all you guys in the chat room, thanks for being there. We'll see you next week on SchreckTeck. Have a good one, everyone. Bye, Gina.
Bye.